Packing up your family to move to a new city is no small feat by any stretch. That is why in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into what it looks like to relocate your family into Buffalo in the Western New York area. There's 5 main things that we're going to cover, and 3 of them include time frame, cost of living, and housing availability. Join me and Devonte as we dive into these topics and make sure that that big task of moving your family to a new area is seamless and smooth for you coming to Western New York.
Let's do it.
The first one is going to be time frame, and this can really be broken down into 2 main categories. How long is it going to take to buy and close in the Buffalo market, and when is the best time to move here? Because, you know, we do have something called winter here in Buffalo, and it's not like the winter in most other parts of the country.
And here's why it's so important. Because in the Buffalo, New York area, it takes 60 days to close. That is very, very uncommon across the rest of the United States. Now, that doesn't matter whether you're looking to move inside the actual city of Buffalo or the suburb. The 60-day mark is going to be 60 days no matter how you cut it, especially when we're talking about a mortgage. And if we have any delays, that can definitely bump out a little bit farther. And I already know what you're about to ask. Well, what if I'm paying cash? 35 to 45 days, it does not matter. The biggest thing is because the title takes forever in New York. Why? We don't know. For whatever reason, that's a 33 to about 4-week process just in itself with the title.
Now, number 2 is going to be when to move. Now, there's really 2 options here. Winter and summer. Now, of course, you know, we truly do have 4 seasons here in Buffalo, but it really divides into those 2 main categories. And the reason why is because it starts to get kind of worse weather and that winter weather around the month of November. And then it kind of lightens up a little bit in April. So we live in what's truly a seasonal market. And so what you're going to see is a lot less inventory in those winter months. Now, that comes with its own set of pros and cons. Some of the pros are going to be a lot less competition. Now, on the flip side of that, that also means less inventory. So in the past several years, we've had remarkably low inventory already. And so I've been coaching some of my clients, and so is Devonte as well.
For sure.
Saying, hey, you may want to consider, if you're really looking to get into a home quickly, looking during those months. I know it's inconvenient because it's the holidays, and then again here, and it's very shocking to a lot of people, especially if you're coming from out of town, but it's going to be cold, and there's going to be snow on the ground more than likely.
For sure.
And that can really change things.
Because the days on market goes up very much so. You gotta think, if people all at home relaxing, chilling during the holiday weeks, then that leaves that house sitting there for that period of time. So that 4-day or 5-day offer deadline may turn into a quick 10 to 14 days easily, which gives you the opportunity to jump on it while nobody else is thinking about it.
That's right. And another element that you have to consider too is actually moving in the snow.
Big one. That's a big one.
We're trying to provide you as much value and as much information here on this channel so you can have the most easy time when you're making this transition. So another thing that you have to consider is inspections. What do I mean by that? Okay, if you have a septic tank, which in certain parts of Western New York you will, if the ground is frozen,
that's huge.
The health department won't actually come out and do that test during those months.
That is huge.
So you're going to have to put a large portion of money into escrow. The sellers actually will. It comes from that pot until the ground is at a place where the health department can come out. So there's a lot of factors. What that means for you as a purchaser is you're not going to know if you have a functioning septic system according to Erie County standards. If you have an up to par septic system, if you do in fact have one, until the ground gets to a place. So you might in 2, 3, 4, 5 months have to do a septic tank repair. Other one, summer. a lot more competition. That's going to be some of the cons. Another thing on the pro side is going to be the fact that the kids are not in school. That's very nice because you don't have to deal with homework,
babysitters,
sports,
or just simply bringing them to the showings when they running around. You're trying to control them and look at the house at the same time.
That is
we have dealt with that for sure.
Now, another pro is going to be the fact that the weather is going to be much more cooperative.
Yes.
So, moving in the summer is always easier. Now, be prepared for a highly competitive multiple offer situation. We do see, and we always sweeten deals in other ways than just the highest price. Price is one component of a contract. It's not the only thing. I mean, we could talk about numerous situations where folks who did not have the highest offer have gotten the house.
All right, right now it's April. Let's say you guys want to be moved up here by November because that's when your lease ends, right? Honestly, we want to be on the phone, no exaggeration, no later than June. I would even push to possibly July 1st. And that's going to give us that 5 to 6 month time frame that we talked about in the beginning to be able to map out your entire plan for your relocation. And again, you have to think, if you want to be settled in up here by November, you got to backtrack October, then September. We need to have something locked in. I mean, under contract, this is the house we want and already going forward with by at least September 1st. I would even push to mid-August just to be safe and you don't have that time frame where you got to pay for 2 houses at the same time. If you guys are moving up to the Buffalo area, make sure you guys give me and Matt a call. We would love to be of service, whether you guys are looking to buy now or you're looking to buy in 6 months. It does not matter. Moving up here already in the Buffalo area, make sure you give us a shout, call, email, text, doesn't matter. Now, let's get into number 2, which is going to be the cost of living difference. Now, I know all y'all seen a Zillow article where Buffalo is the hottest market. It is true. No exaggeration. I put in 2 offers last week. The one has 60 offers on it. The other one have 42. Crazy market right now that we're living in. And particularly because of the affordability that Buffalo still has in the city and definitely still in the suburbs. Now, when it comes to real estate, this is going to be the biggest difference from, I don't care where you guys are coming from, unless you're coming in from the rural South, this is going to be the biggest difference and the biggest separator when it comes to the cost of living difference. Just listen to these numbers right here. The city of Buffalo on average right now as of March was 24 was 220. Cheektowaga, which is a suburb just outside the city, was 205, and that's actually down from February 10 grand because it was 215. Amherst, one of the most prestigious suburbs, is only $376,000. Orchard Park, again, another affluent area, is only $343,000. The national average right now in April 24 is $424,900. That's a massive difference when you're talking about housing and your monthly payment on these type of real estate and your biggest expense monthly that you really have. Because of inflation, all the goods, services, healthcare, utilities, a lot of that stuff is going to be across the board pretty much the same, right? One thing I can say in Buffalo, because again, we're that small, big city, our transportation is not as expensive as a lot of you guys, coming from a Charlotte or coming from a Texas or definitely a New York City where you're paying $400 or $500 a month in parking. We don't have that issue. You can go downtown right now midday and only pay $5 to $8 in parking.
Now, in terms of cost of living, you're not going to notice a huge savings difference in Buffalo in regards to grocery shopping or going out to eat, which, by the way, we have a ton of amazing restaurants here in the Western New York area.
For sure.
We do have a video on some of those restaurants as well.
Yep.
So if you want to check that out at the end of this video, then please go ahead and do that. And you can kind of see what we're talking about there.
Now, when it comes to utilities, let's say a 1,200 square foot apartment or house or something like that, you're really only looking about 50 if you have a really, really bad month, or you're talking about you just burning up something, or you having a party or something like that in the spring or summer. You're really only talking about $75, 50 to $75 really for your gas and electric, unless you're just leaving all the lights on in the house. Your water bill is gonna be dependent around that as well too. Remember, in Buffalo we pay that quarterly. That's gonna be around 70 to about $100 a month. 70 to $100 every single quarter. Where you're really gonna get hit can be your gas when it comes up inside those winter months. Or if you have an AC and you burning it all day long in the summer, then you can bump up to about 150 to about $200. But that's really if we have a bad stretch of a month or a week inside of the winter months there. Here's where it does get costly in Buffalo because we live in New York are going to be taxes. Easily in the suburbs, you can pay anywhere from about $5 to $7 grand. Now, for a lot of y'all that's coming from Florida, that may be the same price as your insurance because y'all dealing with hurricanes and stuff like that. So it is something to budget for. Your housing price itself or your principal is going to be low, but you may pay a little bit extra up here in Buffalo just because our taxes can be high. Even inside the city, you're not going to pay more than $3 grand, but if you're in North Buffalo or some of those more affluent areas within the city, you can still get up there a little bit. Average last year was only $2,100 if you're inside the actual city.
All right, now that brings us to number 4, which is keeping things local goes a long way.
Yes, it does.
What do I mean by that? Keeping things local meaning, okay, so if we're getting pre-approved, it goes a long way to get a local pre-approval. I want to tell you a quick story about a client that Devonte and I had who, despite all of the things that we mentioned, decided to go with a lender that was not local to Buffalo. Okay, let me first start off by saying, why would you want a lender that's local to this area? Well, because the listing agent has a responsibility to their seller. So whatever offer they end up going with, they want to know that that lender has the ability and confidence to get it across the finish line. When they are vetting the various different offers, if they see a lender that they are not familiar with, or potentially that they don't have the ability to get in touch with somebody there in the event that something were to go wrong, that could be an issue for them, therefore making your offer less appealing to them, especially if it is a close and competitive multiple offer situation. They decided that they wanted to go with their local credit union, not local to Buffalo, but local to their location in which they were relocating from. Okay, so that lender decided to hire an appraiser, which is typical, to come out and assess the value of the home to make sure that that lender is not giving above what the home is actually valued at. The appraiser was from 3 hours away. Yeah. Huge problem. Why? Because they don't know the local market.
Yep.
And what they referenced in the appraisal were market conditions that were totally inaccurate to the Buffalo market. What are a couple examples of that? They said that we have 3 to 6 months supply of inventory. We do not have 3 to 6 months supply of inventory.
Not even close.
They also said that we're in a balanced real estate market.
Not even close.
A balanced real estate market.
We maybe have 1 month right now, and that's stretching it.
Devonte just mentioned a situation where one of the properties that they put an offer in on had 60 offers.
60. No exaggeration.
That is insane. Okay, and that's the actual current condition is of the market. The home did not appraise. So basically they said that the home wasn't worth what our offer was. Now, mind you, it was a multiple offer situation. We weren't even the highest offer. There were other components of our offer that made it appealing for the sellers to decide to pick ours despite it not being the highest offer. Fortunately, the purchaser had the ability to actually put more money down, therefore having to finance less, so that appraisal deficiency or appraisal gap didn't really matter as much, but not everyone has that ability. If they did not have that ability, we would have had to quickly switch lenders or potentially risk losing that deal altogether. So all of the countless houses that we've looked at, the offers, right? Because not every house is for every person. So all of the time that we've spent preparing, vetting houses, looking at houses, that all goes to waste and we're going back to square one. So all of that to say, going local goes a long way.
And if you're moving up here and you're already happy about the house and you end up losing it and you're about to arrive here in 2 weeks, that is pure frustration for all parties involved. For you guys that are renting, because Matt and I do, we have people who come up here, hey, we just want to rent for 6 months or a year and then start looking. That's cool. Here's a couple tips I'll give you. A, have your offer letter in hand or a letterhead by your employer showing at least your hourly rate so that we can give the apartment complex what you make and show what your monthly is and what you're bringing in. This is going to be crucial. If you're just coming up here on a whim talking about, yeah, I'm going to just find an apartment when I get there, that's dangerous thinking right there. I would not recommend that. Even if you guys can say, hey, I could pay 6 months up front or cash, or I could pay a year up front cash. Most apartment complexes right now cannot do that based on fair housing laws. It's actually illegal, especially when you're talking about complexes. Most landlords are looking from about 2.5 to about 3 times the monthly rent when it comes to your income. And I would really get your credit score as high as possible, but you can possibly get away for about 650 to about a 660 credit score, especially when it comes to complexes. Again, private landlords may be a little more flexible. It just depends on which route that we want to take. Wrapping this up with number 5 is going to be A, visit. B, have a plan. Let's start with the visiting. A lot of you guys have never been to Buffalo before, or if you have not, I would at least encourage you just to take a weekend out. Explore. Honestly, any place that you move to, even if you're not moving to Buffalo in the end, Ohio, Texas, whatever it may be, visit the place that you're going to end up moving to. Take your time out a weekend. I don't even care if you're going to come up here in a month or so. Take your time out and visit Buffalo. Make sure you can understand our driving conditions, where things are, where the towns are relative to the city. Yes, we're a small, big city, but again, if you're working in or living in the South towns and plan on commuting to the North towns every single day, you want to know that stretch of land, how to take the highways and how to get there. It's going to be huge for you to know your communities that you guys are in. All right. The second thing is mapping out a plan. We must jump on a Zoom call. I know you guys think we're just trying to get you on a phone call. Trust me, I'm not going to waste your time. I like to be in and out of those meetings, but the meetings are so crucial in the time that we spend to be able to reverse engineer you guys' plan. Again, we talked about a November move up, and we want to have something locked in by mid-August. We need to start talking by June or May, or if it's April now, talk to us next week so that we can get you guys full map of what you guys are looking for, especially when it comes to you guys that are selling first and then buying. That's going to be crucial. You don't want to pay for 2 places at the same time, and then B, we need to know, hey, if you can sell in 30 days, where are you going to lay your head during those next 30 days when you're finishing or closing up here in the Buffalo area? Is it a short-term rental? Is it a family member that you guys are going to stay with? These are things that we need to be able to find out. Or if you guys are going to move up here, stay here, then wait for your house, or you're going to stay down there where you are or your current city, stay in a short-term rental and then move up. Most people don't want to move twice. It's a headache. So you may stay in your current city, have that short-term rental, and then move up to the Buffalo area when your house is ready and we're ready for closing. So those are really 2 things. Visit, map out that process, jump on a call with me and Matt so that we can get that done for sure.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that once more. It's so important. I'm a firm believer that having more information allows and empowers you to make better decisions.
For sure.
The sooner that we can get ahead of it and really start collaborating and saying all of the things that Devonte just mentioned of what are the details of your move, the better we are equipped to be able to serve you and your family in the transition from wherever it is that you're relocating from to the Western New York area. The other important thing that we're able to do too is we're able to speak with your real estate professional on the side of the city that you're in. So if we have to coordinate closings so you don't have to do multiple moves, we're able to do all of that in the planning phase. So it really cannot be overemphasized or overstated how important that planning phase really is.
We hope these 5 tips really helped you guys. I'm telling you, these are really crucial. We moved up plenty of people, and every single one of them has faced either multiple of these or at least 2 out of the 5 of these. All right, so make sure you guys, if you guys are moving up to the Buffalo area, make sure you guys give us a call, email, or text. Or you watching this late at night and you're already in the Buffalo area looking to move around the city or in a different town, make sure you guys hit us up with a call, email, text. It does not matter. We always pick up the phone. If we don't see it right away, we're gonna get you back to you as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, see you on the next one.